Tonight's story, Mulliner's Uppo, tells of the Reverend Augustine's experience with a wonder tonic capable of transforming a pale young curate, timidly in love with his vicar's daughter, into a... But let's start at the beginning with our pale young curate.
No! There shall be a weeping and a wailing and a gnashing of teeth, and great shall be the lamentation as the sinners are cast forth into the outer darkness, where the worm that dieth not shall consume them entirely. And now, children, let us sing the hymn, All Things Bright and Beautiful. Number 5, 7.
My dearest, I can no longer brook these clandestine meetings. I must go and ask for his consent immediately.
No, you mustn't, Augustine. Oh, you know what Father's temper's like. He was a boxing blue at Cambridge, remember?
I'm reminded of it every time we discuss any parish matters.
Oh, exactly, sweetheart. Think what happened at the Harvest Festival.
Yes, just because I felt the pumpkin would look better in the apse than the clerestory, he threatened to drop me with a right hook, or whatever it's called. Nonetheless, if the honourable course, I must see him.
Oh, but not this evening, my love.
Why not this evening in particular, my dearest?
Because he's in a particularly bad temper. He's just had a letter from the bishop, rebuking him for wearing too many orphreys on his chasuble. It's upset him terribly. You see, he and the bishop were at school together. Father can never forget it. He said at dinner that if old Boko Bickerton thought he was going to order him about, he'd jolly well show him.
Oh, and the bishop's coming tomorrow for the confirmation service.
Yes. Oh, I'm so afraid they'll quarrel. Oh, it's such a pity Father hasn't some other bishop over him. He always remembers he hit this one in the eye for pouring ink in his hat.
Yes, I could see how that might lower his respect for the spiritual authority. Nonetheless, I must see him.
Mulliner! Is that you skulking there?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
Just skulking, sir.
Oh, stop it. When I look out into my garden for inspiration, I don't want to see it crammed with skulking curates. Have you refilled the font and laid out the books for the infants' Bible class?
Oh, yes, sir.
Then buzz off back to your digs and let me concentrate. Unless, Mulliner, you want the Lives of the Saints in 2 volumes, handily boxed for throwing around your head. Go, Mulliner, go! Sir. And Mulliner! Don't be late for matins tomorrow.
I think I'll take his advice, my love. It's quite a walk back to the village, and Mrs. Wardle doesn't like me to be late for my supper. I postpone my confrontation with him.
I think it would be wise, dearest. And when you get home, be sure to put your feet in hot mustard and water, won't you? The Jew has made the grass so wet.
Yes, I will, my love.
You're not strong, you know.
No, I'm not strong.
You ought to take a really good tonic.
Yes, perhaps I ought. Good night, Jane.
Good night, Augustine.
Tibbles.
If you don't like that good food, Mr. Mulliner, you've only got yourself to blame, you know. You didn't come in until at least 4 minutes after I put it on the table.
No, it's not that. I assure you, Mrs. Wardle, the food's delicious and the gravy's beautifully congealed. No, I was merely speculating on who that letter and parcel might be from.
Oh, I can tell you that. They're both from your Aunt Angela. You know, the one that married that scientist.
Oh, that one, yes. You, read the letter then, did you, Mrs. Wardle?
Certainly not. Can I help it if it fell out because it wasn't stuck down properly? And I just happened to notice the name when I picked it up?
No, of course not, Mrs. Wardle. I'm sure it's nothing important anyway.
Not really, no. No, she just says she's been very worried about you because you seem so frail. And she thinks you ought to take a tonic. And it so happens your Uncle Wilfred has recently invented one he calls Uppo. And it's the finest thing he's ever done, he says. And though it's not on the market yet, she smuggled a sample bottle out of the laboratory and she wants you to try it.
My, what a quick eye you have, Miss. Tonic. It's strange because only this evening Miss Brandon was saying that perhaps I ought to try one. Maybe this was sent as a sign.
Miss Brandon fusses too much, if you ask me, Mr. Mulliner.
Possibly, but I think I ought to try it. It's not unpleasant. It's quite a pungent aroma, rather like old boot soles beaten up in sherry.
Well, I only hope it doesn't spoil your appetite for my rice pudding.
I don't think I want any rice pudding, thank you, Mrs. Wardle.
There. What did I say?
But you could leave the spoon, if you would. It appears I'm supposed to have a tablespoonful before breakfast and another last thing at night, so I'll take a dose now and turn in early with my theological essays. I've just got to an exciting bit.
Yes, well, you must do as you please, Mr. Mulliner. But if you want to refuse a lovely rice pudding, well, your loss is Tiddle's gain.
I don't think I want to. And I believe you've forgotten a hot water bottle in the bed again, Mrs. Wardle. Mrs. Wardle! Mrs. Wardle!
Well, what is it now?
I'll tell you what it is now, Mrs. Wardle. How often have I told you always to put a hot water bottle in my bed? You've forgotten it again, you beetle-witted old clothhead.
Mr. Mulliner, I am not
Mrs.
accustomed
Wardle,
to being
shut up! What I need from you is less back chat and more hot water bottles. Either that or I leave immediately. Let me endeavour to get it into your concrete skull that you aren't the only person with rooms in this village. Any more lip, and I'll go around the corner where I'm appreciated. Now, hot water bottle, ho, and look snappy about it.
Yes, Mr. Mulliner. Certainly, Mr. Mulliner.
Action, action, show some speed. Put a little snap into it.
Yes, Mr. Mulliner. Right away, Mr. Mulliner.
What a Wardle, my old witch of the wash tub. Just limbering up.
Are you all right, Mr. Mulliner?
Never better. I'm all a tingle from bootlace to brilliantine. Now, what have we here, my old curse of the kitchen?
A nice fried egg, sir.
And what, pray, do you mean by nice? It may be an amiable egg. It may be a civil, well-meaning egg. But if you think it's fit for human consumption, adjust that impression. Go back to your pantry, woman. Select another, and this time try to remember that you're a cook, not an incinerating machine. Between an egg that is fried and an egg that is cremated, there is a wide and substantial difference. That difference, if you wish to retain me in these all-too-expensive rooms, you will endeavour to appreciate.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I'll go and do another one right away, sir.
No, wait, my lodger's lament. I have an hour before matins. I think rather than await the dubious pleasures at your attempt at the rehabilitation of this egg, I'd be better employed in more healthy matters. I'll go and visit an old ailing parishioner down at Lower Brisket in the Midden.
But that's 10 miles, sir. You're never going to walk all that way.
No, I'll probably run most of it. Toodle pip, my old queen of the clotted custard.
That's it, Mr. Apthorn. Keep smiling, and I'll bring you another dose of Uppo in the morning. Hello there, Fish. Having a spot of trouble with our dumb friend.
No, save me, young man, save me.
Right, most indubitably, huh? You leave it to me. Jump for it.
Oh, my preserver.
Think nothing of it, Bish. Always glad to do a pal a good turn. After all, we clergy must stick together.
Yes. You know, I thought he had me for the moment. Verily, I'm escaped with the skin of my teeth, Job 19:24. I never realized I could jump like that. Some divine force seemed to be impelling me upwards.
Well, I suppose it was, in a way. I mean, after all, if faith can move mountains, it shouldn't have much trouble with the odd bishop.
No. Then my thanks are due to Providence, but equally to you, my dear young friend. Now, perhaps you could do me another favor by directing me to the vicarage. I fear I've come a little out of my way.
Well, I'm just on my way to Matins. I'll take you there if you like.
Ah,
Just along here, Bish.
thank you. But I think perhaps you'd better not come in. I have a serious matter to discuss with old Pieface. I mean, with the Reverend Stanley Brandon.
Well, I've got a rather serious matter to discuss with his daughter.
Oh. Well, Jane is, I believe, showing my wife round the village this morning. We're very fond of the dear girl. She's our goddaughter, you know.
Ah, you couldn't do better, Bish. But if she's not going to be there, I'll pop in after Matins.
Well, we shall be pleased to see you at any time. You seem to me a most excellent young man. A curate, eh?
For the present, Bish, just for the present.
Well, I'm sure your rise will be swift and meteoric.
Like yours was just now, eh?
Oh, no, you young rogue! Yes, but all joking aside, I really must see that you get the swift preferment which your talents deserve.
You do that, Bish, and watch my smoke. That's all I ask you to do. Just you watch my smoke.
Is that so?
Yes, it is.
Ha ha!
Ha ha to you and see how you like it.
Who told you you were an authority on chasubles?
That's all right. Who told me?
I don't believe you know what a chasuble is.
That's what you think.
Well then, what is it? I'll bet you 2 albs to a cassock you don't know.
It is a circular cloak hanging from the shoulders and embroidered with a pattern and with orphreys. And you can argue all you want, young pieface, but there are too many orphreys on yours, and if you don't jolly well switch a few of them off, you'll get it in the neck.
I jolly well won't. So there. Oh, I like your cheek coming here trying to hi-hat me. Don't forget, I knew you when you were a spotty-faced boy, and if I liked, I could tell the world a few things about you which might amuse it.
My past is an open book.
Is it? Who put the white mouse in the French master's desk?
Who put jam in the dormitory prefect's bed?
Who couldn't keep his collar clean?
Who used to wear a dicky?
Ah!
Who was sick at the house supper?
You know jolly well there was something wrong with that turkey. That would have upset anybody.
The only thing wrong with that turkey was that you had too much of it.
No, you...
If you had paid as much attention to developing your soul as you have to developing your tummy, you might have risen to my eminence by now.
Ho-ho! We all know about your eminence and how you rose to it.
What do you mean?
You are a bishop. How you became one, we will not inquire.
And why will we not inquire?
Because it is better not. You are...
Now, come, gentlemen.
What do you mean by jumping through my window like that, Mulliner? Are you a curate or a harlequin?
I am a curate, sir. And as a curate, I cannot stand by and see two superiors of the cloth, who are, moreover, old schoolfellows forgetting themselves. It's not right, absolutely not right, my old superiors of the cloth. Now, come, I hate to see you two dear chaps quarrelling like this.
He started it.
Never mind who started it.
Big bully.
Now, sensible, exercise a little good-humoured give and take. Now, you say your friend here has too many offers on his chasuble.
I do, and I stick to it.
Ha! All right. But what are a few offers between friends, Reflect. You and the good vicar here were at school together. You're bound by the sacred ties of the old alma mater. With him, you sported on the green. With him, you shared a crib and threw inked darts during the hours supposed to be devoted to the study of geography. Do these things mean nothing to you? Do these memories touch no chord? Vicar. Bish.
I'm sorry, Pieface.
I shouldn't have spoken as I did, Boko.
If you want to know, I think there was something wrong with that bird, too. I remember saying at the time that the bird should never have been served up in such a condition.
And I should just like to say that when you put the white mouse in the French master's desk, you performed one of the noblest services to humanity on record. They ought to have made you a bishop on the spot.
Oh, Pieface.
Boko!
Everything hotsy-totsy now.
Oh, absolutely hotsy-totsy. You will continue to wear as many offers as you want, won't you, Pieface?
No, I was quite wrong. I see that, Boko. I abandon all phrase altogether.
Oh, no,
it's quite all right. I can take them or leave them alone.
Oh, you splendid fellow. Oh, thank you. That's really good. Well, now, I think perhaps I'd better go in search of my wife and my godwater. Oh, what a sweet, charming girl Jane is.
Bish, you've said a mouthful. She's the dearest, sweetest girl in the world. And I'll be happy, Rev, if you'll give your consent to an immediate union. I love that girl with a good man's fervour, and I'm happy to say that my sentiments are reciprocated. So assure us of your approval, and I'll put up the band straight away.
What? But that's a splendid idea.
My daughter marry a curate?
Well, you were a curate once yourself, Pieface.
Not a curate like this.
No, you were not, and neither was I. And it would have been better for us both if we had been.
Huh?
Now, I'll have you know, Pieface, that less than an hour ago, this young curate, whom you dismissed so lightly, saved me with the most consummate address from a large, shaggy dog with a kink in its tail. What? Yes, I was sorely pressed, Pieface, when this splendid young man, with a readiness of resolve and a mastery of aim beyond praise, sent that dog flying with a fusillade of rocks.
A large, shaggy dog with a kink in the tail?
Indeed.
And you gave him the old heave-ho?
It seemed called for.
Mulliner, I have wronged you. I have belittled you without cause. The truth was not in me. I now see your worth. I have had it in for that dog since the second Sunday before Septuagesima, when, as I was strolling by the river composing a sermon, he pinned me by the ankle. Mulliner, I am proud to shake you by the hand and humbly to beg your pardon.
Thanks, Rev. I get the nod for Jane's hand, do I?
Alas, no. No, that I cannot give my boy to allow her to seek her future on the meager stipend of a curate. No. Now, should you ever become a vicar?
Bish! Didn't you say something about preferment?
Indeed I did, and my word is my bond. As it happens, the living of Steeple Mummery will shortly become vacant when the present incumbent leaves to undertake missionary work in the United States of America. Now, I am sure that a fine, resolute young man like yourself will be a most suitable candidate.
Thanks, Bish. I think I can say, in all modesty, that I've got what it takes. Very strong on doctrine and can preach like a streak.
Yes, I must say I've always enjoyed his sermons. Yes. My dear chap, my objections are withdrawn. I give my consent freely, take chain, and may you both be very happy. And before you move into your new vicarage, I insist that you come and stay here.
Rev, I'd not only be honoured, but more comfortable.
That's settled. I shall go and see my housekeeper at once and have her prepare a room for you.
Thanks again, Bish.
No, my dear young friend. It is I who have to thank you for saving me yet again from disaster. Do you know, I verily believe I would have pasted my dear old friend in the eye. Oh, I shudder to think what might have happened. I might have been unfrocked. I could never have showed my face in the Athenaeum again. But still, let us not bother about what is past. No, let us talk instead about yourself and my goddaughter. You really love her, do you, my boy?
I do indeed, sir.
Now, Mulliner, consider. Marriage is a very serious matter. I myself am singularly blessed in the possession of a devoted helpmeet. Oh, Mulliner, about that vicarage.
Bish, you're not going back. You said your word was your bond.
Oh, but it is, but unfortunately mine is not the last word on the subject. If left to myself, I would willingly bestow that living on you. But unfortunately, unhappy lad, I have just remembered that my wife has instructed me to offer that living to a nephew of hers, a fellow who bleats like a sheep and doesn't know an ap's from an offertory.
Your wife has instructed you.
Well, you know how it is. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house, Proverbs 21:8.
9.
Now, I should have said 9.
All the same, Bish, can she get away with this?
Well, she's a law unto herself. Now, for instance, Mulliner, it is a very cold day, is it not?
Well, it's quite chilly, sir.
Yes, exactly. Now, you won't credit this, Mulliner, but this morning my wife refused to allow me to don my thick winter woolies. She says that they're undignified, and these undies I have on are of a very thin silk, and they keep riding up and irritating. Mulliner, would you oblige me by rubbing me in the small of the back with that statuette of the infant Samuel?
Bish, getting her hooks into a living is one thing, but this is quite another. We must put the kibosh on it.
Oh, my boy, you wouldn't speak so boldly if you knew my wife. There is no appeal from her decrees.
Thin silk undies on a day like today. Ridiculous. I never heard such rot.
What's come over you?
A beatific sense of bliss mixed with a hint of relief. All our troubles are over, my dearest.
You mean Father said yes?
We can consider ourselves betrothed.
Jane! Have I met this person?
This is Mr. Mulliner, Father's curate.
Curate?
Augustine, this is Aunt Priscilla.
No, really, your aunt. I took her for one of your cousins.
Well, actually, I only call her aunt. She's really my godmother.
Ah, that's better. I knew she shouldn't be anything so daunting as an aunt, not with those looks. A godmother, and something of a fairy one, I'll be bound.
And a very conscientious one. In local parentis to her dear mother, I still feel responsible for her spiritual welfare, and therefore, young man, I'd like to know exactly what you meant just now by that word, betrothal. I'm afraid it is quite out of the question that my goddaughter should be engaged to a mere curate.
Oh, he's not so very mere, Aunt Priscilla. Anyway, he's wasted as a curate.
Exactly, no scope. I've been running under wraps. But now they're going to unleash me as a vicar. I'll be the talk of the established church.
Vicar? Oh, Augustine.
The good people of Steeple Mummery are looking for a better class of shepherds.
Steeple Mummery?
Ah, yes. I meant to talk to you about that. I wonder if we have a walk around the garden. You know the bishop?
He's my husband.
Then you would know him. Yes. Now,
Young man, you may have a very pleasant manner, but let me tell you, soft words butter no parsnips.
how true that is. In the deepest and truest meaning of the word, how very true. Speaking as one who has had some experience in buttering parsnips. Lady Bish.
Vicar! Oh, has our young friend gone? Oh, what a splendid young man he's turned out to be. It's a pity I should be losing him so soon.
We may all be losing him sooner than you think.
What do you mean? Where's he gone?
Into the valley of the shadow, I think. He has announced his intention of attempting to remonstrate with my wife.
Golly.
Golly it is. She will look at him through a lorgnette. Indeed, she has already done so, but it was a mere glance, a ricochet. Sooner or later, she will look at him direct. And England, Pieface, is littered with the remains of curates at whom my wife has looked directly through her lorgnette. I myself have seen them wilt like salted slugs at the episcopal breakfast table. And now this brave young lad...
Hello, Bish! It's all right.
All right?
Yes, she says you can go and change into thick winter woolies.
What? What did you do? What argument did you employ?
Oh, I just jollied her along a bit.
Jollied her along?
Daddy, he was wonderful. You should have seen him.
I wish I had done, but Mulliner, didn't she look at you through her lorgnette?
Oh, yes? I simply told her it was a shame to hide such attractive eyes, and she put it away again.
And Steeple Mummery?
Oh, well, that's all right, too. It appears that the mother of that nephew is one of her least favourite sisters, owing to the fact of her having squealed, as I believe the expression is, on her to the nanny on the occasion of the Lady Bish throwing a hockey stick through a window.
Well, let's pray she doesn't change her mind.
She's not likely to do that. Not with my Augustine around.
No, apparently not. I think, Pieface, we are perhaps a little de trop at the moment. Goodbye, Mulliner. Thank you again. It has been such a pleasure. And please, feel free to drop in at the palace at any time.
Augustine, my darling. But you still haven't told me what's brought about this amazing change in you.
Oh, I just sort of pulled myself together. Oh, and I took that tonic, as you recommended.
Really? Well, if I were you, my love, I'd carry on with it.
My dearest, I think you can safely bet your choir mistress is surplus that I shall.
Dinner awaits your pleasure, sir. At your convenience.
Thank you, Mrs. Wardle. Mrs. Wardle?
Oh, sir, nearly forgot. A telegram for you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wardle. What does it say?
Oh, I've no idea, sir. I wouldn't think of opening it.
I'm sure you wouldn't, Mrs. Wardle. Now. Mrs. Wardle, I'm sorry to have to say that I'll be leaving you shortly.
Oh, sir, if there's anything I can do...
No, Mrs. Wardle, it's not that, no. I've been invited to move my spats and toothbrush to the vicarage prior to going to the new living the bishops found for me.
Oh, fancy that, sir. Why, you'll be a bishop yourself one day.
Possibly. Good heavens.
Something wrong, sir?
Well, rather disconcerting. This is from Uncle Wilfred. It seems my aunt has made a mistake. Apparently there are 2 grades of Uppo. Grade A, a mild tonic for humans, and Grade B, which was specially designed to instill courage into Indian elephants on tiger hunts. Instead of sending me Grade A...
Oh, don't tell me, sir. She went and sent you the B instead of the A. Mercy me, sir, what'll you do?
Well, there's only one thing for it, Mrs. Wardle. Order 3 more crates of Grade B.